Page 23, All Through the Night. At the top of the page, they're introducing you to what's known as tied notes. Tied note is simple enough. You have two notes and you tie them together. So both notes together act like one note. See, we have a problem in music. It's just built in. We have to deal with it. In that there's a limit to how long a note can be. Let's look at this piece. It's 4/4 time. Well, in 4/4 time, the most beats you can have in a measure is 4. So the longest note you can have is one that lasts 4 beats, because the note can't go over a bar line. Well, what happens if you want to hold the note longer than 4 beats? That's where tied notes come in. And you'll see it at the bottom there on All Through the Night. The last two measures, you have the F in the left hand. It's tied to another F. You're simply going to hold that F down for 8 counts. So 2 measures worth. And that's all tied notes are. Just the rules are simple. You can only tie 2 notes together. You can't tie 3. If you have 3 or 4 or however many notes and you want them all tied, you have to do it a pair at a time. You kind of chain them together. And then you play the first one down and hold it for the whole chain. And it has to be the same note. You can't change to another key on the piano. It's got to be the same key on the piano, same note. I say the same key on a piano because we get into inharmonics where the note might actually change in the music, but it's really the same note on the keyboard. Don't get confused now, it does happen. And if that's the case, it's still a tie. You can get away with that. It doesn't happen very often. So let's look at All Through the Night. This thing is 4 lines long. Treble and bass clef, 4/4 time signature. We have dotted half note right at the beginning, and quarter notes and half notes and whole notes and tied notes. Okay, we can deal with all that, I hope. Remember, the dotted half note is the same as 3 quarter notes. Just memorize that. Doesn't matter what the time signature is, it's always the same as 3 quarter notes. So if a quarter note gets a count, which it does, then the dotted half notes get 3 counts. And the rule, remember, the dot gets half the value of the note. So the half note gets 2 counts in 4/4 time. So the dot would get 1 count because that's half of 2. Get a calculator if you need one. Put them together and you got 3 total. So there's different ways of looking at it. Some of you will understand one way and others will understand another way. So sometimes I explain things in multiple ways so everybody can be equally bored. That's what we're after here. Okay. So check our notes and rhythms here. It starts with the right hand here. A 4th finger on F, that puts your hand here. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Get the idea? Second line, you can do that one. Just to remember the last 2 measures of the second line, that F, that's tied for 2 measures. You hold that down for 8 counts. I know it's boring, but just last it for 8 counts. Left hand comes in on the 3rd line down, the 2nd finger on F, down here. That's here. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually the same melody as the right hand was doing until you get to the last line, then it's a little different. So you put the hands together, learn them. Then go through it to get rid of the hesitation so it's a steady beat. And go through and make sure you can play this without looking at the keyboard so you're remembering which fingers are on which keys. And then we add the dynamics. Well, here it is MP. MP stands for mezzo piano, Italian word for medium soft. Piano is soft, P is soft. So medium soft or moderately soft or sort of soft. Again, it's a range of it. It's not soft, it's just sort of soft. It's gentle. Whatever you think sort of soft is, it's going to be softer than the pieces we played on page 22. want to introduce you to another concept here. They'll get to it eventually, but I'm going to introduce it now. And that's the idea of a musical sentence. You see, we talk in sentences. We talk in sentences. So, okay. Music can be played in sentences. It can happen in sentences. And if you play it rather quickly, at least to me, when I want to try and figure out what the musical sentence is, it helps to play it quickly, and it kind of makes sense. You can hear it. It's a musical thought. So it's like here. If I speed this up, maybe I can hear the sentences. To me, that's a thought. And then a new sentence. Or maybe the whole thing is just one sentence. Yeah, that to me, that sounds like one sentence. Well, between the sentences, it's like between talking sentences, there's a little silence. You might even take a breath. We do similar to music. So in the end of the second line, before I play the G in the next line, or the F, I'm going to lift up just for a speck of silence. It's like taking a breath. I'm not going to connect them. There, I want to try thinking about that. Now, sometimes you can follow the words, and you can follow the sentences in the words. That gets a little tricky. You have to watch out. Because sometimes a musical sentence will end at a comma or a semicolon or something. Here, it's ending at the end of the second line, which is the period. Okay, that makes sense. It's a sentence in there. It can be a musical sentence. Now, when you do this lift up between the phrases, the beat is not affected. The beat just is a steady beat. No matter what's going on in the music, the beat is a steady beat. There's exceptions to that. We'll get to those later. So when I'm lifting up at the end of the second line to go to the third line here, I'm cutting that whole note at the end of the second line a little bit short, just a little bit short. So I can lift up because the third line has to be right on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just a little early on that. So think about that phrasing thing, and I'll talk more about it when we get to where they introduce it. But it's just something you may wonder, because I am lifting up between the phrases. It's just kind of a habit. It makes it more musical. You're not just playing notes. You're starting to play melodies, musical thoughts. Let's play this together very slowly and double check our notes and rhythms. I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4. 2, 3. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Tie. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, 4. 2, 3. 2, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. 2, 3, 4. Tie. 2, 3, 4. Off.